Good. Hold on 1 second. Sorry about that. Let me take this off. What up? What up? What up? As you know it's your boy Lane Rolling, and I am making this video, as you can tell from the description, and talk about how Amazon is basically breaking the law with all of their independent contractor drivers, which was myself, but I was actually terminated yesterday about the exact problem that I'm going to be talking about right now. And I've done a bunch of research, and I've looked on YouTube, and I've like Googled and Reddit and all types of things, and everybody's been having the same problem, from the UK to all the states in the United States, which is kind of a big problem, especially dealing with a huge conglomerate company such as Amazon that is basically taking over the whole market and almost every facet of our lives. So I'm going to be talking about some key points. I also did some research, and I looked up what rights an independent contractor actually has, because I know that as an independent contractor, we do not get the same rights as an employer. You know what I mean? Or an employee from an employer. Like, they don't have to pay for our medical, they don't have to pay for our taxes, insurance, any of those things. We have to cover all that. We have to pay our own taxes, and usually do that quarterly or whatever, however you want to do it. But the problem that I'm going to be talking about now is how they have consistently, since I've been working there, been taking advantage of us and actually breaking the law, even with the independent contract that we have with Amazon. So the first thing that I want to get into is I'm going to read off what an independent contractor is. So basically, Amazon Flex is a independent contractor job that you get. Whoa, sorry about that, guys. So Amazon Flex is an independent contractor job that you get with Amazon Flex, and you deliver packages, or deliver for a restaurant, or you actually do groceries, which is Amazon Fresh. And most of those groceries are coming straight from Whole Foods, because which we all know is they have bought Whole Foods for actually almost $50 billion in cash money. So this is why this problem makes me baffled on how they can even treat us this way. So I signed up for the Amazon Flex program in Rockville, Maryland, and I did this about 2 years ago. I got the job. I was super excited. I love Amazon. I've been an Amazon Prime customer for a very long time, and I'm sorry if I keep saying and. I'm still kind of upset for the things that happened yesterday, but let me keep getting into it. So when I first started working with Amazon Flex, everything was sweet. We got there, they had 4-hour blocks for $72. You would work anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5 hours, and you were off. Sometimes you would work 4 hours, depending on how high of a demand and how many packages they had. At certain times of the day, you would deliver way more packages, but sometimes that didn't even matter, because basically you could deliver 30 packages to one building, and you could go into like a condo building, and they actually, oh my gosh, now this thing wants to start to mess up when I'm trying to film video. So everything was super sweet. Everything was super organized. The staff there at first was super friendly, very helpful and stuff like that, which they really aren't even supposed to say anything to us. They're supposed to check us in. We're supposed to go to our designated rack. You pick up your packages, you scan them, you put them in your car, and you go. Once you finish, you're done. So that was all sweet. After about 4 or 5 months is when I started seeing problems. They started trying to basically tell us what to do. They started giving us a very, very high volume of packages that you could not finish in 4 hours. So I would complain and say, oh, like it took me 5 hours to finish my deliveries, sometimes more. And they would be like, oh, it's just a problem. We're trying to build an algorithm. If you can't finish within that 4 hours, you're supposed to bring the packages back so we can put that in the computer and show that that route was impossible to do so it doesn't happen next time. So that's what I was told to do. So that's what I did. As time goes on, more people complained about it. More people were sending emails. So they sent out an email and said that they're going to lower the time period so more people could get blocks, and then also it would make it easier to where you wouldn't have to work over that time period. So they actually lowered our time to 3-hour blocks for $54. So I thought that was going to be sweet, because a lot of times they would give you so many packages in a 4-hour block you couldn't even fit them in your car. And you're allowed to have a car, you know what I mean? You don't need no big truck or a van, because they have other contractors that actually do that work for Amazon actually, and they get health benefits and all types of stuff, and they get their own van. They don't have to drive around their own car. So I thought that was going to be sweet, but what happened was we would be getting the 3-hour blocks and we would end up working 4 hours. So basically they started making us work more and paying us less when they could pay us $72, and they didn't lower the load at all. So I complained about that. I sent an emails to support. I tried to contact human resources, which I was unavailable to do. Nobody had a number. There was nobody to talk to. I tried to talk to management, and I actually talked to the management at Rockville, and his name is Thomas. He assured me that that the problem would be fixed, and a couple times they actually took packages off because I put them in my GPS and showed them there's no possible way for me to be able to finish this in the time period, and it's not fair for us to work for past that time, because that's not what our contract was for that specific day. Then I encountered dealing with certain managers where I would tell them about this problem, and they basically were like, well, if you don't take them, I'm writing you a ticket up for refusal to take packages, and that's going to reflect bad on you, and you're probably going to lose your job. So then we're forced to have to take packages. So me being the person that I am, I started going around asking drivers, are you dealing with the same problem as me? Because a couple managers was like, you're the only person complaining about it, and I knew that I could not be the only person complaining about this. So I went to other drivers, and they pretty much all had the same problem. Then I started to see that they all had the same problem. Then after my shift, when I was bringing packages back, I would see a lot of drivers bringing their packages back, and it was a high volume of packages they were bringing back. So then I started thinking, like, I know from when I order Amazon and my package doesn't come, I'm going to call up and be like, my package didn't come. It was supposed to be here in 2 days. What's up? And they would usually give you some type of promotional gift card or something, which is going to cost them money. And then I would still get my package. So that is already messed up. And then it didn't make sense, because if they're bringing those packages back, they're going to have to send them out anyway. So then they're going to have to pay you for that block, make another block, and then pay somebody else for that, when they could have just basically separated those blocks and basically given those 2 blocks to 2 people, and they both would have been able to get it done. So as time goes on, it keeps getting worse. They started implementing 3.5-hour blocks for $63, and then $72 blocks again and that's 4 hours. Then it comes to the point where I'm still seeing where I'm working overtime every single day, so it adds up. At the end of the week, I'm almost getting 2 or 3 blocks that I've worked that I did not get paid for. So when the time comes out, if I work, let's say 8 hours of free time, because I usually work it almost every single day, that's almost 100 and something, like almost $200 that I am missing, and that you're not paying me, that you just basically got me to work and I didn't get paid for it. So I'm talking to all types of management, and then everybody starts saying the same thing. If you cannot finish the blocks within that time period, bring the packages back. So that's all I've been doing. If I couldn't finish it in that time period, I worked like 10 or 15 minutes over the time, I'm gonna bring the packages back. Another problem that you encounter is you might deliver to an apartment complex that does not have a doorman and there's an access code to get in. So the customer is supposed to put their access code so you can enter the building and be able to drop the packages off. A lot of times they don't put the right access code, so you'll be sitting out there trying to access the building. You cannot do that. Then you try to call the customer, and this is usually during the day. The customer rarely ever answers their phone and is able to help you. Then a lot of them, if they answer their phone, they'll tell you the same access code, which is not the right access code, so you can't deliver the package. So then you have to go into your itinerary, you mark the package unable to deliver, access code problem. So that's what all of us have been doing. Next thing you know, after this, I start getting emails saying that you have not been successful in delivering your packages. If this keeps on happening, we'll terminate your contract. So I email back and I'm like, explain to them that they're giving us way too many packages to be able to finish within the time period. It's not fair for us to work over the time period when you actually have things set up for us to get paid with working that time period. So if I sign up for a 3-hour block and I end up working 3.5, you had the capability to be able to pay me $63 for that time period, but I'm only getting paid $54, and there's no real way for you to compensate me for that $63 now. And then it gets even worse. If you end up working 4 hours, they should have paid you $72, but yet they've paid you $54. So to me, I feel like it's kind of like a scam. You arrive for a 3-hour block, they tell you it's 3 hours, but they really know it's going to be 4 hours. So now they can pay you almost $20 less than what they would have paid you before, but still get the same work done. So this is going to make them look like they're getting out all these packages and they're spending less money to get all those packages out. So I brought this up to their attention, and I was told the same thing. If you work past your time, bring the packages back and you will not be penalized for that. I've been told that by every staff, management, logistics person in the hub. So then recently there's been a couple times where I've worked over the time period, and I didn't really believe them at this point because I keep getting these emails. So I would work over the time period. I would send an email before I would leave and be like, it's impossible, because sometimes they would have me delivering to let's say there's Rockville, there's Bethesda, there's Gaithersburg, there's Clarksburg, all this. They would have me delivering to Gaithersburg, Germantown, Rockville, Silver Spring, and Bethesda. So all those places alone, if I drove to all those places, would take me 3 hours to deliver, and then they would give me 40-something packages. So it's no way for me to be able to finish that. I would tell them this, show them in the GPS that it's going to take me roughly 30 minutes to get to the first location. Then after I finish that, to drive to the next location, it's going to take me another 30 minutes to even get there. And then each place in that actual place is not like right beside each other. Each location is 10 minutes away from each other. So I let them know this same thing. The one person that's really, really bad at that hub is this lady named Melissa. She's super rude to everybody that's under her. And then she's super rude to every driver that comes in there. Like her, the way she talks to you, the way her voice is when she talks to you, the way when you bring up a problem, the way she talks to you, she's very demeaning. She likes to put you down, and she likes to talk to you like you have no brain, or you're just like not talking about anything correctly. So, there's been a couple times where I've worked over the time period and just didn't want to get in trouble, and I email, they basically see where you're going, see how long you're working, and then they would end up paying me an extra $36 for me working over the time period. So to me, that shows that I've been correct in the whole situation. So with complaining about this, they sometimes would bring up, well, there's other drivers that can get this done in that time period. And to me, it's like those are the drivers that were like me who first start the job and they think that it's going to be 3 hours, but they would end up just working and going over time thinking it's a one-time mistake. So then, yeah, you're going to get it done. Also, there's times where you would tell them that it's too many packages and they would threaten you. A lot of people are scared that they're going to lose your job. Me, I work for Caviar, I work for Uber, I do my own freelance type work. I'm able to kind of get money wherever I want. So I'm more about like keeping my rights and my integrity. So time goes on, the problem never gets fixed. Recently it's got real bad to where one time I got Washington D.C. during rush hour it's going to take you an hour and a half to get to D.C. from Rockville. They had me delivering to Silver Spring, to Rockville, Bethesda, and then going to Washington D.C. Which Washington D.C. alone, when I've delivered there, you can never find parking. The customer's never there, so there's always an access problem. And it's always just super difficult to deliver any packages because of the traffic and everything. And then if you can't deliver those packages, you have to drive all the way back to Rockville and finish your job. So sometimes you would end up working 7 hours on a 3-hour block, and you don't get paid for that extra time. I'm killing my gas, I'm killing my time, and I'm not being compensated for it. And me doing the extra work, there's no room for me to get higher up in the company. I don't get any type of perks. I don't get paid overtime or anything. So there's no incentive for me to actually work that time period. So I just started doing what they told me to do. If I couldn't finish the blocks in that time period, I would bring them back. So recently, it happened to be again. I worked the time period, and I had 2 blocks in the same day. I let her know that it was too much. She threatened me. We almost kind of got into like, not an argument, but we definitely were going back and forth over it. She threatened me again, saying that you're probably going to get fired if I write you this refusal to take your block. So I took it. Ended up working over the time. Emailed support and Amazon. They ended up paying me an extra $36. I was kind of cool with that. But then I had to bring packages back that day because I couldn't access it. I get the same email. 3 days later, same thing happens. They give me like 60 packages to finish. I had a 2.5-hour block. I had like 20-some packages, and like I almost was I wouldn't have been able to finish it, but the reason why I brought the packages back was not because it was over my time period. I tried to, there was 20 packages to one apartment complex, and there was nobody, none of the access codes on all of the packages was correct. I tried to call the customer, I tried to call the leasing office, everything, nobody was able to help me. So I called support. Support tried to call numerous customers, nobody picked up. Support told me, mark them as unable to deliver, take the packages back to the hub. So I did that. And I believe that that is the reason why I was terminated, because that's what they said. They said, you have been less successful than other drivers in the Amazon Flex program. We are going to terminate your contract. So this kind of really bummed me out because everybody is telling me to do that, and then you're going to fire me or terminate me for that exact reason, which is completely unethical and immoral. And it's really sad because they could just have opened that block up to a bunch of different people, gave other people opportunities, because I've also heard from drivers where they can never get a block, and it's because they're giving overly too many packages to one driver. So I started looking on YouTube. It's like everybody is having the same problem with Amazon. And if it's not that, it's something else. It's either They've even sent me emails where I didn't show up for blocks and I definitely showed up for the blocks. It's also been times where they said that I didn't take my packages when I came to the hub, which is completely false. I showed up to the hub. They end up, the truck doesn't show up. They don't have any packages, so they say it's fine. They tell me to scan the code and go home, but then I end up getting in trouble for that. So also, I would tell them, I would do a math equation to them. I would tell them there's 180 minutes and 3 hours. So if you give me 40 packages and it takes me 5 minutes to deliver each package, which is kind of lowballing. Sometimes it's way more than that. Sometimes it is less, but that's like rarely. There's no way you can deliver a package to each house in 1 minute. So I go with 5 minutes for each delivery. That's 200 minutes, 20 minutes over the time that I've been signed up for. Then that's not taking into account the time it's going to take me to scan the packages and even load my car up and then drive to the location. That's sometimes 40 minutes already taken away right there. And with Rockville, they're completely unorganized. I've also waited there almost an hour to receive my packages. Once I get in, I have to scan them. That takes me 30 minutes because they're supposed to have them all in a bag where you can just scan all the packages. It's in your itinerary. You can load your car up and you can leave. They never have that ready. They always have all these packages going everywhere, so you have to scan each package individually. Then you have to like organize them, put them in your car accordingly, and then you have to sign out and then leave. So it's been taking a long time. So they would still give you the same amount of packages they were going to give you if they were on time giving you your delivery, which is completely already setting you up to fail and not be able to finish in the time period that you signed up for. So my conclusion is they basically just want to either have people that just don't care about it and are going to work for free, and if you complain about it, they're going to terminate you. So I did research and I found out that independent contractors basically have almost full control over your, like, how you do your job. They cannot tell you how you do your job at all. Once they start doing that, you become almost an employee, because basically they're telling you how to do your job and you're an independent contractor. They can't tell me that I have to deliver all these packages and work over my time period when it's not allowed. They can't even tell me to scan the packages in, which they told me to do, if I don't want to. So then again, that's them basically making me their employee. Which is like really frustrating. It's like very hard for me to talk right now because I'm very frustrated. I have 3 kids that I need to take care of, and them doing this is definitely being able to take less money that I was making every single week. So at this point, I seriously do not know what to physically do. So I've done an appeal process on my termination. I sent them a bunch of emails. When I first sent the first appeal message, they basically told me they would get back to me within 3 weeks. So then I sent a bunch of emails of all the emails that I've sent them, because I've sent them over 30 emails about the exact problem they terminated me for. They actually sent me an email directly back saying, we're going to look into the situation. We're sorry this happened. We'll get back to you within 3 days. It's been 2 days. So I'm expecting to get an email back tomorrow, and I'm going to see how that goes. And for me, I also started working at the Springfield location, which was like a breath of fresh air. Everything was super organized. When you actually arrive at that location, there's nobody checking you in. You kind of go, like, that's exactly how in the video they showed us how it was supposed to be. You go in, you basically park your car, you go to either Amazon Fresh, which is groceries, and Prime Now, or you go to the Amazon Flex section. They have a computer screen, well, not a computer screen, they have a TV screen, and it basically shows you your name and what route that they already have set up for you. So they basically already have your block specifically for you when you come into the place. You grab your stuff, you go, and everything was completely done in a timely fashion before the time period that I was supposed to work. I never worked over the time period, and everything was completely awesome. All the staff there was friendly. Rockville was completely opposite. You come in, half the time they don't got you a route. They're like putting the route together like at that time period. They don't, some of the times, like the thing that really blew my mind, and I found out what Rockville was doing, was one time I came in and I had a 3-hour block. I come there, they have sheets on every block where they're supposed to have sheets, and they're supposed to tell you whether it's a 3-hour block, 3.5 hour, or a 4-hour block. And then it tells you the QA code of what sections you have to deliver in, and it tells you how many packages you have. And this time I come in, the sheet's on there, everything's good. My route was awesome. The route beside me was an actual 4-hour block, but everybody that was coming in was 3 hours. One of the logistics people talks to the lady Melissa that I had just talked about earlier, and he tells her there's no more 3-hour blocks, there's only 4-hour. I hear her tell him, rip off the sheet and don't say anything. So basically, she was purposely giving somebody a 4-hour block that only had a 3-hour block, and she knew exactly what she was doing. So to me, that's not the first time she has done that. She probably does that all the time, and it's like anytime you work when she's there, you're gonna work over your time period, and it's way too much work. Some of the management and that's what I was trying to bring up too. It's like, it's really about what managers there. Some managers try to make themselves look really good, and other managers really care about everything, like the employees that they have and the drivers that are coming in there. And those are the drivers that if you have too many packages and something off, they'll take them off and they'll be like, I'm sorry, here you go. And I love that. But this girl Melissa, there's also this guy called Prince, and there's also this guy named Carl. They're like the worst people to work under. Just unfriendly, not helpful, and unorganized. And the guy Prince and Carl, anytime you come in there, you're gonna wait for an hour to even get into the location. You get in, and then you're still gonna wait another 20 to 30 minutes to actually receive your block. The block is all over the place, unorganized. And then if you let them know, like, I only have like an hour to finish these deliveries, and this is gonna take me 3 hours, they're gonna be completely chastising, rude, and like very threatening to make you feel like if you don't finish it, like if you don't do it, you're gonna get terminated. So you're left at a point of just trying to take it, finish it, and like deal with it, because like I didn't want to lose my job. So to me, I don't see how Amazon can let people like that work in a location, especially when a high volume of people are complaining about it. You keep those people who are really making the problem worse and causing drivers to end up making these mistakes, but you'll get rid of the drivers and let that problem keep happening, which to me is a very, very big human resources problem, and they don't even have a human resource department in that location. So now I'm stuck waiting on a write back over a problem that I've basically been complaining about for almost 2 years, and then you're gonna fire me for the problem that I've been complaining about when it's completely out of my hands. Like, I'm not gonna keep working other jobs, and I have other things that I need to do, like filming YouTube videos and whatnot. Oh man. Light is charging now. Sorry about that. I'm back. Forget that other stream. And it's really killed me because I like suffer from depression, anxiety, and things of that nature. And I go see a counselor and everything. And it's like the way they treat me is just like even worse. Me as being an African American male, I'm always treated with like discrimination or not treated fairly. So when it happens to me at work, it's really, really frustrating because it's like I work super hard. Um, I'm super organized. Like anytime I took like pride in the job, I would come there, I would organize my car from first delivery to last delivery. I was super nice to all the customers. I would be super friendly. I made sure I was never leaving packages unattended if I thought the area was a bad location. I would try to deliver the package straight to the person. If I'm delivering to a business, I'm super friendly. I'll tell people nice day, like customer service very well. I treat all the logistics people very friendly unless they're completely rude to me. Um, I sent numerous of feedback information to let them know on how they can fix the situation. And there's a couple things they could have done to make this situation better. Instead of giving one person a high volume of packages, you could just set up other blocks like they have. They've had like $30 blocks for 2 hours. So instead of giving me more packages that's going to make me work over my time, they could have separated that and given somebody else an opportunity to be able to work with that block. Because I've talked to a lot of drivers too, to where they never got blocks at all. They've signed in and refreshed their app 100 times and haven't got nothing in a week. And that doesn't make sense to me when you're going to give me way too many packages to deliver in the time period that I've signed up for and make me work for free. So there is ways that they could actually fix everything and not put us at jeopardy. It would actually make them make more money, and it would build their reputation up in a way better way. But I think that when companies are so big and there's so many different contractors and nobody really to be held accountable for anything,